Hello everyone. Many of us are learning VMware from different online content. However, just learning is not enough, hands-on experience is crucial to build a strong foundation. Today we will build a VMware environment using VMware Workstation Pro. Now you can use VMware Workstation 17 Pro on Windows and VMware Fusion Pro 13 free for personal use. While installing, make sure to select personal use. Launch VMware Workstation. Click About and check the version. Let's create a virtual machine in Workstation. We will choose Typical for now. Click Next. In the Select Operating System page, we will select Windows for now. Click Next. We will use the default virtual machine name and click Next. We can leave the default virtual disk capacity or modify it. And click Next. Next we will take a look at hardware customization. This will allow us to customize the hardware of the VM according to our need. RAM, network, etc. We will create another VM and follow along the VM creation wizard. In the operating system we will choose VMware ESX this time. We will go to Customize Hardware of the second VM we are creating, and we will check the processor setting. We can see the Virtualize Intel VTX/EPT is checked by default for this VM. Click Close and then finish the VM creation. Let's now go back to the first VM we created and edit settings, and we will notice the Virtualize Intel VTX/EPT is not checked by default. Let's go to the VM settings of the second VM we created. We will go to Processors and uncheck the Virtualize Intel VTX setting and save the new setting. We will now power on the second VM without the Intel VT setting checked. Notice there is a warning message at the right bottom corner. It says Virtualize Intel VTX/EPT is disabled. What this means, you cannot run a nested virtual machine inside this VM. We will take a little detour from our topic here, and let's take a look at the version of the host machine which is running VMware Workstation. It is Windows 11 Home Edition. On Windows 11 Home Edition, I have encountered the error Intel VTX/EPT is not supported on this platform when I tried to run my first VM with Virtualize Intel VT enabled. I am sure many of you have encountered this issue and managed to fix it. Some article will point you in a direction to remove Hyper-V feature. But hey, it is a home edition of Windows 11 and Hyper-V is not available. How to fix the error, right? Make sure Virtual Machine Platform and Windows Hypervisor Platform feature are not enabled. Let's jump into the solution that worked for me, and I hope it works for many of you who are still facing issue. Open Windows Security on your host machine and go to Device Security, Core Isolation. This step is for test purpose and should not be performed on production environment. Disable memory integrity. Now keep in mind, disable this feature at your own risk. Once you complete testing you can enable the feature back to keep your system safe. You don't need to make this change if you are not planning to run any nested VM inside your virtual ESXi host. Enable/disable this feature requires a system reboot. Since we have addressed the issue with nested virtualization, it's time we get back to our initial project of build the lab environment. For the purpose of this lab I have used IODraw to create a pictorial representation of how our deployment is going to look like. I found this app handy and we can use it for free unless we need to avail the extended feature of this app to store in Dropbox, GitHub, Google Drive, etc. This app has icons of servers, virtual machine, center storage, CPU, memory, etc. Explore the app to know more about it and you can build a deployment plan diagram of your own. For example, we want to build a basic diagram of VM, ESXi host, and vCenter server. We can search for the icons and pull them to the drawing pane. Let me pull the plan we are going to use for our deployment. There you go, it's easy, isn't? We are going to use 3 physical hosts. I have also mentioned the memory available on each of the system. Station 1 is a Windows host, Station 2 is a Mac host and Station 3 is again Windows. They all are connected to one Wi-Fi physical router. All 3 stations will serve different purpose. Station 1 will run a vCenter appliance and ESXi host. Station 2 will run a ESXi host. Station 3 will run a ESXi host and nested VM. The layout too will give a fair idea what type of VM we are going to build on each physical host. I hope you find this introduction helpful and will follow the journey with me to build a VMware practice lab at home.